Have you ever felt overlooked or taken for granted in a relationship, wondering why some couples seem to effortlessly radiate mutual respect, while others crumble under the weight of misunderstandings and unmet expectations? The truth is, lasting connection isn't built on grand gestures or charming words. It's built on what's left unsaid, the quiet, consistent actions that command respect and create value. In a world obsessed with appearances and fleeting promises, mastering the art of silent influence is not just powerful, it's essential. Imagine a river carving through stone, not with force, but through steady, quiet persistence. This is the essence of real value in relationships. The most magnetic people don't chase, they attract. They don't demand respect, they embody it. It's not about manipulation, it's about mastering yourself so profoundly that others can't help but take notice. This principle lies at the heart of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches control over one's mind, emotions, and actions. In relationships, this means embodying self-worth so deeply that you shift the dynamic without uttering a single word. Most people approach relationships like a gambler at a rigged game, chasing affection and approval, hoping to hit the emotional jackpot. But here's a hard truth: desperation repels, while quiet confidence magnetizes. Think of a rare, uncut diamond lying undiscovered in the earth. Its value doesn't diminish simply because someone hasn't found it yet. It remains precious, whether it's admired or ignored. The same applies to you. Your worth exists independently of external validation. The question is, do you carry yourself like that diamond, or do you beg others to notice your shine? Consider the ancient Stoic teaching from Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In the realm of relationships, this means refusing to be controlled by someone else's attention or approval. When you stop chasing, stop explaining, and stop overgiving, you reclaim your emotional power. You become someone who is pursued, respected, and valued, not because you demanded it, but because your presence commands it. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or following manipulative tactics. Dark psychology and Stoicism converge not in trickery, but in mastering emotional control and understanding human nature. Humans value what feels scarce and are drawn to what they can't easily have. The more you center yourself and cultivate inner strength, the more others are compelled to lean in. You create intrigue not by speaking louder, but by becoming the calm in a storm, a grounded, centered force that draws others in naturally. Think of it like a lighthouse in a raging sea. It doesn't chase ships or plead for recognition. It stands tall, steady, and unwavering, its light cutting through the darkness. This is the energy you must cultivate in your relationships. When someone knows they can rely on you to remain composed, grounded, and self-assured, regardless of external chaos, they will value you in ways you never imagined. Still, society teaches us to do the opposite, to over-communicate, overshare, and over-apologize, believing that more noise equals more connection. But true value is built in the stillness between words, in the actions that speak when your lips stay silent. The most magnetic people aren't the loudest, they're the most intentional. They listen more than they speak, act more than they promise, and never beg for what should be freely given. Imagine someone pulling away from you emotionally. The average person might panic, sending endless messages, demanding explanations, or frantically trying to fix the situation. But what if instead you did nothing? What if you simply allowed space, signaling through your silence, "I value myself too much to chase"? This isn't indifference, it's quiet self-respect. And in that stillness, real power is found. The ancient Stoics also believed that suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our reaction to them. In relationships, this means learning to stay composed, even when things don't go your way. When someone fails to meet your expectations, instead of crumbling or lashing out, you respond with calm detachment. You choose how you show up, steady, self-assured, and untouchable. This restraint is not weakness, it's immense power. Think of a flame enclosed in glass. It burns steadily, untouchable by passing winds. This is how you must hold yourself in relationships, fierce but contained, passionate but composed. People will try to test your boundaries, but when you respond with quiet certainty, they'll learn that your standards aren't up for negotiation. You're both the flame and the glass, a balance of intensity and control. So ask yourself, how would your relationships change if you mastered the art of silent influence? If you could inspire respect and admiration, not by force, but by presence? What would happen if you stopped trying to prove your worth and simply lived in alignment with it? The path to becoming truly valued in love isn't about changing others. It's about transforming yourself. It's about cultivating such deep self-respect that others have no choice but to respect you in return. When you stop chasing and start embodying your worth, you become the rarest of all things, someone impossible to ignore. This is the power of mastering silent actions rooted in Stoicism and dark psychology. It's not about games. It's about becoming someone so steady, so centered, that respect, love, and value naturally gravitate toward you. And when you master this, everything changes, not because you demanded it, but because you became someone truly worth valuing. Affirmations shape your mindset and remind you of your worth. Let this simple phrase guide you toward becoming someone others can't help but value. Here is your affirmation: I am worthy of respect. Write this affirmation in the comments below to make it your own and claim your inner strength. If this resonated with you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're dedicated to creating content that inspires growth and transformation in your life, and your support means the world to us. Number 1. Magnetize, never pursue. Have you ever noticed how the most captivating things in life never chase? They simply exist, and the world is drawn to them. Think of the moon pulling the tides, or a flame attracting moths. They don't plead or push, they just are. This is how you must approach relationships, as someone who radiates such undeniable presence that others can't help but be drawn toward you. Chasing isn't just exhausting, it's emotionally draining and often futile. The more you run after someone, the more they retreat, leaving you depleted and disillusioned. But who fed you that lie? The lie that you must try harder, give more, or constantly prove your worth to be loved. Stop it. Love isn't won through pursuit. It's inspired through presence. There's a powerful truth hidden in stillness. When you become centered in yourself, you create a gravitational pull that no one can ignore. You attract what you embody. If you live in scarcity, always giving, chasing, and begging, you project desperation. But if you embody self-worth, calm confidence, and fulfillment, you become magnetic without saying a word. In relationships, chasing often looks like over-texting, over-explaining, or constantly initiating plans to avoid losing someone. But here's the truth. Real connection isn't built through force. It thrives in mutual respect and curiosity. You cannot will someone into caring, they must choose it willingly. The more you push, the less space you leave for your partner to step forward on their own. Remember, the river doesn't chase the ocean, it flows naturally toward it. Be like the sun, as the Stoics might say. The sun never rushes, never pleads for attention, yet life revolves around it. It rises consistently and shines unapologetically, whether people notice or not. This is how you become magnetic, by standing firmly in your self-worth, showing up authentically, and letting your actions speak louder than any pursuit ever could. Picture this: someone withdrawing emotionally or becoming distant. Most people would panic, sending messages, seeking explanations, or trying to fix the situation. But what if you didn't? What if you simply let them feel your absence, creating space for them to recognize what they might lose? This isn't manipulation. It's self-respect in action. Your silence can speak volumes, signaling, "I know my worth, and I won't beg for what should be freely given." Here's a hard truth. People value what they have to work for and cherish what feels rare. If you're always available, always chasing, you remove the mystery, the space where desire lives. You become expected, predictable, and taken for granted. But when you lean back into your power, embracing stillness and patience, you create intrigue. You let curiosity grow in the spaces you leave unfilled. So affirm with me right now: I attract by being, not chasing. Say this out loud. Let it sink into your soul. Say it again. I attract by being, not chasing. This isn't about manipulation. It's about reclaiming your emotional energy and choosing self-respect over desperation. You are worthy of someone who willingly chooses you, without being chased, convinced, or begged. Stay with me. We're not done yet. There's more to uncover on this journey toward becoming truly valued in love and life. But before we continue, take a moment to commit to this new mindset. Write, "I attract by being, not chasing," in the comments to seal your affirmation. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to bring you life-changing lessons that help you unlock your true potential. Let's keep growing together. Number 2, let actions speak louder than words. In the symphony of life, words are like the violin's gentle call, beautiful, yet often overshadowed by the deep, resonant power of the cello's actions. When it comes to relationships, we're told to hang on to every word, every promise, believing that they paint the full picture of a person's intentions. But who fed you that lie? It's time to wake up. True connection, the kind that resonates in the depth of your soul, isn't declared with flowery speeches. It's built on the quiet foundation of actions, each one a stepping stone to deeper trust and understanding. Action expresses priorities, Mahatma Gandhi once declared, a poignant reminder that what we choose to do, not just what we promise to do, reveals our true commitment. Consider the ancient tree, standing steadfast through seasons and storms. It doesn't need to tell the world of its strength and resilience. It shows it. In your relationships, adopt this silent fortitude. Let your actions become the roots that ground your words, making them stronger and more meaningful. Show your partner that you are not just a whisper of declarations, but a roar of consistency. Remember, the loudest vows are often spoken in the softest tones of genuine deeds. When your partner sees that your actions, those small, often unseen efforts, align with your words, their faith in you grows. It's like watching the dawn slowly light up the dark sky. With each consistent act, clarity unfolds and trust deepens. This alignment is what forges unbreakable bonds, far more than any sweet nothings whispered in fleeting moments. So, affirm with me right now. Say this out loud: I am my actions, not just my words. Let this affirmation sink in. Let it resonate through your being. Every time you choose to act in alignment with your true intentions, you're not only proving your worth to your partner, you're affirming your own value. This is the essence of dark Stoic psychology: control over one's actions to influence perception and create undeniable impact. It's about being a pillar of reliability, not a shadow of inconsistency. Let your actions be like rain in a drought, quietly vital, profoundly impactful. Think of each act of kindness, each moment of support, each gesture of love as raindrops that nourish your relationship, allowing it to bloom. In the world of love and partnership, these deeds are your legacy, far outlasting the echoes of what you've promised. As we delve deeper into the silent actions that forge the strongest bonds, remember, we're not done yet. Stay with me. Let your deeds craft a story of who you truly are, and watch as the world, especially your partner, starts to see you not just for what you say, but for what you do. This is how you make them value you, how you transform the foundation of your relationship from sand to solid rock. So, say it again. I am my actions, not just my words. Write this in the comments below to affirm your commitment to this powerful principle. Like this video if you believe in the transformative power of actions, and subscribe to the channel as we continue to work hard to create such useful and life-changing lessons. Your journey towards mastering the silent actions that enhance value in your relationships is just beginning. And number 3, the strength of silent assurance. Have you ever walked into a room and felt an undeniable presence even before someone speaks? There's something magnetic about a person who is calm, composed, and sure of themselves, a quiet confidence that needs no introduction. In relationships, this silent assurance is what separates fleeting attention from lasting admiration. You don't need to announce your worth. Your energy should make it clear. They should feel your presence in their soul, not because you demand attention, but because your steady confidence leaves no other option. Think about this. A mountain doesn't move when the wind howls. It stands firm, unshaken. It doesn't seek approval from the storm. It simply exists in its strength. You too can become that mountain in your relationship. When you master silent assurance, you become someone whose worth is undeniable, someone who doesn't need validation because they radiate security from within. In a world where people are often emotionally unpredictable, being the calm in the storm makes you unforgettable. People are naturally drawn to what feels steady, dependable, and secure. Here's a hard truth: people can sense desperation even when it's hidden behind polite words or affectionate gestures. Neediness whispers, "Please choose me." Silent assurance declares, "I know my worth." It's not about arrogance. It's about being so secure in who you are that even when things feel uncertain, you remain unshaken. You don't beg for attention. You don't explain yourself endlessly, and you don't chase after anyone's affection. You attract them through your steady, quiet presence, by being someone who knows they are enough. The Greek Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In relationships, this means remaining grounded, even when emotions run high. If your partner pulls away or acts distant, resist the urge to panic or cling. Instead, breathe deeply and remain centered. Your calm response says far more than 1,000 anxious words ever could. It communicates, "I'm here because I choose to be, not because I need to be." This kind of emotional control is rare, and rare is always valued. Imagine a candle in a dark room. It doesn't flicker in desperation for attention, it simply glows. The darker the room, the brighter its presence becomes. When you embody silent assurance, you become that light. a steady force of calm and confidence that others find impossible to ignore. People will notice your strength, not because you force it on them, but because they feel it radiating from you like warmth from a fire on a cold night. But who fed you the lie that you need to explain yourself constantly, beg for attention, or prove your worth through endless effort? Stop it. You are not in competition for someone's time or affection. If you believe you have to perform for love, you've misunderstood your own power. You are not a performer. You're the stage. The right person will step into your life because they recognize your strength and stability, not because you convince them of it. Silent assurance is not about being cold or emotionally distant. It's about being unwavering in your self-worth, even when life tests you. It's about standing firm in your truth without needing anyone to validate it. When you show this kind of strength, others will either rise to meet you or reveal they were never meant for you in the first place. So affirm with me right now, my presence speaks louder than words. I trust my inner strength. Say this out loud. Feel its power. You are capable of showing love without losing yourself. You are worthy of being valued without ever having to beg for it. Say it again. My presence speaks louder than words. I trust my inner strength. Write this in the comments below and make it your personal truth. You don't need to chase or explain. You simply need to be. Number 4. Cherish your time as your greatest asset. Imagine your time as a golden hourglass, grains of sand quietly slipping through the middle. Each grain represents a precious moment of your life, never to be lived again. Just as you wouldn't allow anyone to carelessly spill these golden grains, you should not allow anyone to waste your time. Your time, after all, is your greatest asset, especially in the realm of relationships. Respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. This quote encapsulates the philosophy behind cherishing your own time. In relationships, the act of valuing your time isn't just about self-respect. It's about commanding respect from your partner. When you treat your time with the reverence it deserves, others will follow suit. This isn't a matter of selfishness. It's a matter of self-worth. Think of a master artist at work. Each stroke of the brush deliberate, each moment of creation treasured. They do not rush their art, nor do they squander their creative hours on distractions that detract from their masterpiece. Your relationships should reflect this level of intentionality. Just as an artist does not fill their canvas with clutter, you should not fill your life with interactions that lack depth and purpose. When you protect your time, you send a clear message about your worth. This silent action speaks volumes. It tells your partner and those around you that your presence is a privilege, not a right. It creates a magnetic allure, drawing others towards you not because you demand attention, but because you embody the dignity of someone who knows their value. Now, consider how you can apply this principle in your daily life. Are you making time for people who value and uplift you? Are you prioritizing your well-being and growth in your interactions? Remember, every minute you spend is a minute you will never get back. Choose wisely who deserves your hours, for these choices shape not just your day, but your entire life. So affirm with me right now. Say this out loud. I value my time and myself. Let this affirmation be your guiding principle, echoing in your actions and your choices. And say it again. I value my time and myself. By adopting this mantra, you transform not only how others perceive you, but how you perceive yourself. This simple yet profound act of self-respect will revolutionize your relationships, making them richer and more fulfilling. Stay with me. We're not done yet. If this message resonates with you, I encourage you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're working hard to create life-changing lessons that help you transform your life and your relationships through the power of dark, Stoic psychology. Let us continue this journey together, mastering the art of silent influence to build relationships that are not only enduring, but empowering. Remember, by valuing your time, you teach others to value you. Write, "I value my time and myself" in the comments to affirm your commitment to this principle. And let's inspire each other to live our lives with the respect and love we deserve. Number 5. Boundaries. Set in silence. Have you ever noticed how the strongest walls are built without noise? A fortress doesn't announce its boundaries. It simply stands firm, unyielding, and undeniable. In relationships, your boundaries should be the same, silent yet impenetrable. Boundaries set in silence are not about confrontation or long-winded explanations. They are about action, self-respect, and the quiet strength of knowing your worth. "Speak only if it improves the silence," said Mahatma Gandhi. The same applies to setting boundaries. You don't need to shout or beg for respect. Your actions will show what you tolerate and what you don't. Imagine this. You're dealing with a partner who constantly cancels plans at the last minute. Instead of arguing or complaining, you quietly stop making plans with them altogether. Your actions say, "I value my time too much to let it be wasted," without needing to utter a word. This silent strength speaks louder than any argument ever could. Think of a river flowing around a rock. The river doesn't fight the rock. It doesn't demand it moves. It simply adjusts its path and keeps flowing. This is what boundaries look like in their purest form, unbothered by obstacles and unafraid to carve a new path. When you set boundaries in this way, you teach others how to treat you without drama or confrontation. But who fed you the lie that setting boundaries will push people away? Stop it. A partner who values you will honor your boundaries. And if someone leaves because you quietly enforce them, that person was never truly invested in you. Your boundaries aren't about keeping people out. They're about protecting the peace within. They are a declaration of self-worth that says, "I refuse to settle for anything less than mutual respect." So affirm with me right now, "I value myself enough to set boundaries without explanation." Say it again. "I value myself enough to set boundaries without explanation." Write this in the comments to solidify this truth for yourself. Stay with me. We're not done yet. Number 6. Gracefully navigate the winds of change. Have you ever tried holding onto sand tightly in your fist? The harder you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Relationships, like sand, thrive not through force or resistance, but through grace and adaptability. Change is the one constant in life and love, yet so many of us fear it, resist it, or cling desperately to what was. But here's the truth. The ability to gracefully navigate the winds of change can transform not just your relationships, but how you're valued in them. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In relationships, this means letting go of the need to control your partner's actions or the relationship's direction. Instead, focus on how you show up during times of change. When you respond with composure, understanding, and quiet confidence, you signal strength and stability, qualities that make you irresistible and deeply valued. Picture a tree in the middle of a storm. Its branches sway and bend with the wind, but its roots remain firmly planted in the ground. The storm doesn't break it, it makes it stronger. Be that tree in your relationship. When things start to shift, whether it's your partner's mood, external circumstances, or the dynamic between you, stay rooted in your values. Let go of the fear of losing control and embrace the opportunity to grow, both as an individual and as a couple. But who fed you the lie that change is something to fear? That if your partner pulls away, it means you've failed? Stop it. It's time to wake up and realize that every shift is a chance to strengthen the foundation of your relationship. By leaning into change instead of panicking, you create space for love to evolve naturally. Growth doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in uncertainty. So affirm with me right now, I embrace change with grace and trust in my worth. Say this out loud. Let it sink in. Then say it again. I embrace change with grace and trust in my worth. Stay with me. We're not done yet. Write this affirmation in the comments to solidify your commitment to growth. And if this resonates with you, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to create lessons that don't just inspire, they transform. Let's keep growing together. Number 7. The quiet authority of saying no. Have you ever felt trapped in the endless cycle of saying yes when every part of you screamed no? Maybe you feared disappointing someone you care about, or worried they'd pull away if you set a boundary. But who fed you that lie? Who convinced you that love is about sacrificing your comfort and values just to keep someone close? The truth is, real love respects limits, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Saying no isn't about being cold or distant. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you refuse to compromise it. Think of a river carving its path through stone, not by force, but with quiet persistence. It doesn't seek permission or apologize for its direction. It flows with unwavering purpose. This is the quiet authority you must cultivate in your relationships. Your no is not rejection, it's self-respect in action. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, no person is free who is not master of themselves. Mastering the art of saying no is reclaiming your freedom. In relationships, it means valuing yourself enough to refuse anything that undermines your peace or authenticity. Imagine being offered a cup of water when you're not thirsty. Accepting it only burdens you. Saying no isn't rude. It keeps your hands free for what truly nourishes you. Stop believing that setting limits will push people away. The right partner will respect your honesty and be drawn to your strength. Those who can't handle your boundaries were never meant to stay. You don't need to explain, justify, or soften your stance. A firm, calm no is enough, and it speaks volumes about your inner power. So affirm with me right now, my boundaries are acts of self-love. Say this out loud. My no is not rejection, it's my declaration of worth. Write it in the comments below to anchor this truth in your mind. Stay with me. We're not done yet. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to create these life-changing lessons because you're worthy of love, respect, and a relationship that honors every part of who you are. Number 8. Demonstrate worth through deeds, not declarations. Have you ever met someone who talks endlessly about how much they care, but disappears when it matters most? Words can be as weightless as autumn leaves caught in the wind, pretty to watch, but gone in an instant. In relationships, promises mean nothing without the actions that back them up. Love isn't what someone says, it's what they do when no one is watching. So ask yourself, are you building castles out of words or laying bricks with your actions? Real connection isn't built on grand declarations, but on small, consistent acts of care and respect. Imagine a candle in a dark room. It doesn't announce its presence, it simply shines, quietly transforming its surroundings. In the same way, your worth isn't proven through explanations or proclamations. It radiates through the way you show up, how you listen, how you support, and how you keep your promises, especially when it's inconvenient. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." In love, this means living your values instead of reciting them. If you value honesty, be truthful even when it's difficult. If you value loyalty, be dependable even when life tests your resolve. Actions rooted in integrity create an unspoken language that's impossible to ignore. Picture this. A river doesn't shout about its strength. It quietly carves through stone over time. Be like the river. Let your actions carve a legacy of love, trust, and respect in your relationship. Remember, anyone can speak beautifully, but not everyone can live beautifully. Your consistent deeds will speak louder than any heartfelt speech ever could. But who fed you the lie that you need to explain yourself to be valued? Stop it. It's time to wake up. Value isn't earned by saying the right things. It's revealed by doing the right things. So affirm with me right now, I show my worth through what I do, not what I say. Write this in the comments below as a personal commitment. Stay with me. We're not done yet. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep growing with us. We're working hard to create life-changing lessons, and your support makes this journey possible. Let's keep building together. Number 9. Dignity in self-care and poise. What if I told you that the way you treat yourself is the silent script that tells others how to treat you? Imagine being a priceless work of art. Would you let dust gather on its surface or allow it to be tucked away in some forgotten corner? Of course not. You'd frame it, display it, and ensure it was handled with care. That's the kind of energy you need to bring to yourself. An unshakable dignity in how you care for and present yourself. In relationships, this quiet poise sends a clear message. I value myself, and so should you. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have worth. Act accordingly." When you embody self-care and poise, you reflect this truth in everything you do. Self-care is not just about looking good, it's about feeling strong, confident, and present in your own life. When you carry yourself with dignity, you become someone who others respect and admire because they see that you already respect yourself. Think of a lighthouse standing firm on a rocky coast. It doesn't chase after ships or plead for attention. Its steady light speaks for itself. In the same way, your self-care is your light. It shows your partner, or anyone else, that you know your value and won't dim yourself to fit into someone else's world. This quiet dignity isn't arrogance. It's simply an unspoken standard of how you expect to be treated. But who fed you the lie that putting yourself first is selfish? Stop it. It's time to wake up. True self-care doesn't just benefit you, it strengthens your relationships. When you are centered, cared for, and grounded, you bring your best self to the table. Your partner feels the energy of someone who isn't drained, resentful, or insecure. They feel the calm assurance of a person who knows they are enough. Imagine two people entering a room. One is disheveled, head down, and apologetic about taking up space. The other walks in with calm grace, shoulders back, head high, not seeking attention but owning their presence. Which one leaves a lasting impression? That second person isn't perfect, but they exude poise and self-respect. That's the energy you need to cultivate in your relationship, not trying to be flawless, but showing through your actions that you are worth the effort. Self-care doesn't just happen in the mirror. It's also about setting boundaries, saying no when needed, and refusing to let anyone, partner or not, disrespect you. Poise means handling conflicts without losing your composure, letting your calmness speak louder than words. A partner is far more likely to value someone who doesn't overreact, but instead handles situations with dignity. So affirm with me right now, I am worthy of love, care, and respect, starting with my own. Say it again, I am worthy of love, care, and respect, starting with my own. Because when you live this truth, you become someone people can't help but value, someone who inspires love not through demands, but through presence. Stay with me. We're not done yet. Relationships thrive when both people feel appreciated, and that starts with appreciating yourself first. If you don't take yourself seriously, why would anyone else? This isn't about playing hard to get or putting on a show. It's about living authentically, rooted in the belief that you are enough just as you are. Imagine a relationship where you don't need to ask for respect because your actions make it clear that respect is non-negotiable. Imagine your partner rising to meet your standards, not because you begged, but because your quiet poise inspired them to be better. That's the power of self-care and dignity. It transforms not just how you see yourself, but how others see you. So, say it again. I am worthy of love, care, and respect, starting with my own. Write this in the comments to affirm it and claim it for yourself. Number 10. Consistency, the backbone of trust. Imagine building a house where the foundation shifts every day. No matter how beautifully decorated it is, that house is destined to crumble. Relationships work the same way. Love isn't about grand gestures or occasional promises. It's about the steady, reliable actions that form an unshakable foundation. Consistency isn't just important. It's the glue that holds trust together, making your partner feel safe, valued, and connected to you. Yet so many people underestimate its power, thinking passion or charm can replace what only persistence and reliability can build. Think about how the sun rises every day without fail. It doesn't need applause or recognition. It simply shows up. In a relationship, being consistent means showing up for your partner, not just when it's easy or exciting, but especially when life feels uncertain or challenging. It's about being dependable in ways that seem small but speak volumes. It's texting back when you said you would, keeping your word on plans you made, and offering support even when you're tired. These seemingly ordinary acts create extraordinary trust. The ancient Stoics believed in aligning actions with values, regardless of circumstances. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This philosophy applies directly to relationships. Being consistent is about living according to the standards you've set, not only when your partner is watching, but even when they aren't. It's about being someone whose words and actions are one and the same, creating a relationship where trust isn't questioned. It's simply understood. But who fed you that lie that being unpredictable keeps things interesting? Stop it. Excitement comes from shared adventures, not emotional roller coasters. Inconsistency might create drama, but it never creates deep connection. Emotional chaos might seem thrilling, but it's stability that builds intimacy. A partner who can't predict where they stand with you will eventually stop trying. And here's the hard truth. If someone only stays interested because of uncertainty, they were never committed to begin with. Consistency is about creating emotional security. Picture a lighthouse standing firm through wild storms. It doesn't change or flicker when the waves crash harder. It stays steady, guiding ships safely through the darkest nights. In relationships, you must be that lighthouse, not swayed by temporary frustrations, not giving up when things get tough. You become someone your partner knows they can trust, even when everything else feels uncertain. That steadiness makes you irreplaceable. Stop chasing the idea that occasional bursts of affection will make someone value you. Anyone can be charming for a moment, but not everyone can be consistent for a lifetime. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about reliability. You don't need to get it right every time. You just need to show that you care enough to keep trying day after day. It's the repeated effort that builds the deepest love, not the rare flashes of attention. So affirm with me right now, I am steady, dependable, and trustworthy. My consistency builds lasting love. Say this out loud. Say it again. Let this truth sink into your soul. Trust isn't built overnight, but through quiet, repeated actions that say, I'm here and I mean it. Stay with me. We're not done.